we picked an amazing team.
Yeah.
I mean, we have an amazing team. I don't know how all the stars aligned, and our team is terrific.
I am here with Erica Nahr, who is our Innovation Lab lead. Is that?
Yes.
Lead project manager?
Innovation Lab, the first Innovation Lab lead, yes.
Yeah, so big deal.
It's not that big of a deal. We're all leaders. But yes, that is a true statement. I'm the lead.
Big deal, politically correct, Erica Nahr. So we're going to be talking with Erica today. You're going to see that she's a team player, but no, seriously, this is a very pivotal month, I would say, for us.
Agree.
In January 2019, and it feels like it's been 2 months. Honestly, the amount of stuff that we've done, the experiences that we've had.
And it's not just because January is a long month.
Yeah, yeah. But let's back up first. I would love to have you, for those that don't know Erica Nahr, a little bit of backstory.
Okay.
Kind of what you did before at Be the Match, your history with the organization. What brought you to this?
Sure, Ryan.
All that good stuff.
So I have been with Be the Match for now a little over 10 years. And I joined Be the Match as an analyst and then continued to sort of sit in that analyst role as an analyst, a senior analyst, and then a principal analyst. I moved from the project management office to CIBMTR, their CIT space. And I've really
what is that?
CIT is a specific IT group that supports the applications and the business processes in CIBMTR. So that's where I was prior to coming back to the EPMO as a project manager, and then moving into the Innovation Lab as the team lead. And so really I've been working on projects in Be the Match since I joined the organization 10 years ago. Applications, business projects, IT projects, a wide variety of efforts, working in a lot of different business areas, and then got a green belt for the continuous improvement efforts. They offer that in the organization, so I got that too. So that's my background.
You're sitting very proper.
Yes,
I've noticed.
I'm okay.
One thing that you don't know about Erica that I've learned quickly is she likes to use her hands a lot for explaining things and really,
similar to
really
you.
answering questions about life and all the things.
Well,
and so hopefully that comes out a little bit more here. I'm kind of scared, actually, that you're going to hit me. But
I'll try to keep it under control, but
yeah.
it does really kind of pack a punch sometimes.
Yeah, anyway.
Okay.
All right, so background, so then how did the whole Innovation Lab thing start from you? Because it was a little different for you. You were actually part of the process of developing this team. So, but how did it start for you?
Well, I read the Innovation Lab email that was sent out. Gosh, I don't remember. I actually don't remember exactly when it was sent out, but
summer or something.
Introducing the Innovation Lab, which was asking folks to volunteer if they're interested. And so I immediately replied to that email and said, I'm interested. If my skill set meets what you're looking for, I would love to participate in this in any capacity. And that was it. And then Dr. Comfer, Dennis, called me in early September and asked me if I would be the first lead. And it was an honor just being nominated. No, but it was, I was shocked, and I immediately accepted, and then I cried. I actually cried a little bit.
No way.
It's true.
All right, so let's talk about this month. So high level, this month we obviously have been working on the project, and that has definitely taken some turns and reroutes for really, really good reasons to dig into things which we'll talk about. But I think probably for me personally, a little selfish thing is the biggest highlight was Duke.
Duke was amazing.
We went to Duke, Duke Medical, Duke Health out in North Carolina. I would just love to hear, Erica, your highlights from that trip, and I'm sure some of them are going to be the same for me, but let's share.
My highlights from the Duke trip. Well,
first of all, why did we go there?
Well, we went there a lot of different reasons, but really as a team, researching and exploring the landscape of umbilical cord blood, it really felt right for us to be on site and go see a transplant center and go see a cord blood bank and really witness firsthand everything that goes into all the work that we're exploring. So when we talk about umbilical cord blood as a graft source, what does it look like for it to get processed? Where does it get frozen? Where does it sit? How do they thaw it? What are all the processes and procedures that are associated with transforming that particular collection into a treatment for a patient? And so we went to Duke. Dr. Kurtzberg and her team invited us to Duke, and they hosted us in a major way. It was amazing. And they created an agenda for Monday and Tuesday. It was the first Monday and Tuesday of the month of January, and we went through basically end to end everything that goes into collecting the umbilical cord blood, all the way through the entire life cycle of that particular graft source, including infusion into a patient, and that was incredible. So along the way, the attention to detail, all of the intricacies associated with processing and managing this particular graft source, all of the detail.
And the passion.
The passion.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh my gosh. We had Deb Wood, who did the collections, and I immediately glommed onto her. Her energy is infectious.
Yeah.
She has all sorts of techniques and ideas around proper, effective, efficient collection, and she has a passion that you cannot mirror. It's amazing. And Dr. Kurtzberg was thoughtful with every single part of the trip, and her team, Kristen Page, and all of the other team members that are supporting this entire Duke Health space, and Joanne's team, they're just incredible.
Yeah, there was, I mean, probably easily 20 plus individuals that were part of our 2-day experience of just finding time out of their day to show us around, to answer our questions, to ensure that we got as much information as we were there to get, and it was just so well organized. But at the end of the day, the team, the passionate team, the professionals there that are doing this wonderful, life-saving work, that is amazing. But the moment for me personally was when you talked about seeing the journey of what it takes to use or leverage this graft source to treat patients in need. To be able to go through that on Tuesday, the start to finish of it being taken out of the bank and thawed, and going through the procedure for prep, and then going into a patient was what, a 3.5, 4-year-old boy. So we were the mother of this child allowed us to all come in as a team and kind of witness this infusion happening and be a part of that experience, which was amazing. But at the same time, it was, a lot of us have families and kids of our own, and it was just hard to see that, because you just think about where that family, that mother is going through, and this child is going through, and how this was like such a big source of hope for them.
Yes.
And this was a big moment in their lives as a family, and to be in that room when that was happening.
What an honor.
It was such an honor, but it was also so hard.
It was hard. It was hard, but I was talking to one of the team members and saying, this is so difficult every day. I'm just so amazed. And she said, we're offering hope. And it was a really key paradigm shift for me to recognize, because yes, it is hard, but they're offering hope, and what an honor.
Such an honor.
What an honor for them to be able to do that. And so it was a wonderful paradigm shift. I said, oh, I looked at it in such a different way. And having young children, a child the same age as that little boy, ooh.
I know. Most of us had to leave the room.
Yes, it was.
For those reasons, but I was filming. I was actually filming this, so I just had to push through, and I was happy that I was able to, because the moment where the doctor looked at the mother and said, 10 minutes later, the infusion was 10 minutes, and she looked at the mother and said, it's done. Just to see The joy, the weight off her shoulders, just the hope that she had at that, all of these emotions at one moment in her face. She didn't have to say anything. I don't even know if I mean, maybe you're seeing it on the footage right now, but I'm not even sure if I caught that moment on camera because I was just watching her with my own eyes. Like, oh, that is. And so to bring it back to what we're doing, I mean, that to me was like, this is exactly why we're here. We have such an honor to be able to have an opportunity to be a part of this community, which is, you know, the cord blood space, umbilical cord blood as a graft source and as an option for treatment, and to have the opportunity to do something about it.
I know.
So
and that's one patient.
One patient.
That's one patient.
Yes.
And that's what matters, is that one patient. And so looking at it through the lens of, the processing and all of the sort of mechanical and tactical things that go along with supporting this graft source, it's all very important. But that's one patient, and that's one patient that matters. And if we have one patient that needs umbilical cord blood, we have a duty and a responsibility to do whatever we can as an organization to support that patient and support the infrastructure and the space and the landscape so that that patient can have the access to that graft source. It was wonderful. The trip was amazing. They are, as with many of our partners, Duke is a class act.
You know, a couple weeks ago, our CEO visited us, you know, just to kind of check in, see how we were doing, how the project's going. And, you know, in our conversation, you know, we were talking about, you know, kind of why we're doing what we're doing. And, you know, it was interesting because it didn't take very long until someone said, we're doing it for the patient. And I think it was Gina that said that. And that was what he wanted to hear. He literally drove that conversation in that direction to make sure that everything that we're doing, and obviously, like you said, the experience at Duke is another highlight of this. It's for that patient or those patients,
yes,
or whoever needs this as a form of treatment. So the one thing that we haven't done in these videos is really talk about more in depth, a little bit about, you know, the why this is so critical that we're doing this, but also what we're doing.
What we're doing?
Yeah.
We're doing stuff.
Yeah.
So I'll give a high-level overview, Ryan, of what we've been doing and what we plan to do. So for quarter one, October, November, December, the team focused on researching umbilical cord blood as a graft source. Everything you can imagine with regard to umbilical cord blood we researched. So all the things that I listed that we saw at Duke,
yep,
we looked into those. We read about them. We learned about the core business at Be The Match. We interviewed over 50 people, internal to the organization, external to the organization. We are still heavy in interview mode, and I don't anticipate that will end. We'll begin to interview folks to get feedback on our solutions as those unfold. And so we've really been gathering, it's sort of a kind of a handshake relationship of first consumption. We were consuming information. And then we shifted gears to producing. All right, now based on all of the information that we've gathered, a lot of great ideas around what we could offer up as solutions and recommendations were gathered by the team. And we set those aside because we wanted to give those the correct attention, but we weren't in that space yet. So we set those aside, and as quarter two began, we really started to dig into solutioning and taking each of those ideas that we had come up with based on all the research that we had done and really understanding the landscape, and we started to look into those. And we were jazzed about that. And Dr. Mills came for a visit. It was a terrific visit. And he said to us, Ryan, I want you to pause for a minute on the solutioning. It sounds like you're moving in the right direction in many ways, but we need to make sure that you validate that. So really what the team has been doing is working for the last couple weeks, and we will wrap this up next week, on identifying the information pillars that are associated with our work in our particular project. You can kind of think of it as a mini strategic plan for umbilical cord blood. And that's what we've been doing. We're close. Dr. Mills has been very supportive of our team, and really—
That's our CEO, by the way.
Yes, he's been helpful in so many ways in guiding us in the creation of these pillars and really keeping us honest so that we are well suited to provide clarity on the current landscape of umbilical cord blood based on facts, not things that we know. I'm sorry, not things that we think, but things that we know. And so that's been really helpful. So what we're planning to do is complete those pillars, and then once we have those pillars, we will transition to solutioning. Now, if this is the pillar that is key to umbilical cord blood as a graft source, what solutions and recommendations align with keeping that pillar strong? And that's what we will be doing, and we'll be working to create our solutions and recommendations, what the goals and objectives are of each of those, how they align with all of the other initiatives that are going on in the organization, and really just starting to package that information up. And then we will be sharing it. I know there's been a lot of energy around what are the solutions and what are those going to look like in the recommendations, and we'll be sharing those when they're ready to go.
Yeah, and that's a really great way of packaging this up. I know it's for a lot of, especially for a lot of our colleagues in the space, in the community, but also at our home base at Be The Match, people want to know, like, well, what have you been doing this whole time? But it is when it comes down to a specific source of treatment, graft source, cellular therapy, whatever you want to call it, that has been historically on the decline, but is still a viable source of treatment. This is not something that we can just say, here's the problem, here's how you fix it. It's delicate. There's a lot of rightfully passionate people, both in the cord blood space and in other spaces as well. And so we have to respect that. A lot of people have a lot of knowledge. They're professionals in the industry, and they're saving lives every day. And so we have to figure out the right way of finding a solution that's going to fit the entire community tastefully. And so
very well said, Ryan. Absolutely. And we want them to be, they need to be feasible with an impact. So we've got a lot of ideas that might be kind of cool, but are they going to make an impact? And are they feasible? Maybe not. And so unfortunately, those may not rise to the top. But it's our due diligence as an Innovation Lab team to make recommendations and solutions, pitching those forward to leadership that really are going to make an impact. And I love the way that you said that, sort of delicate and respectful to all of the moving parts that are associated with this particular graft source. There's a lot at stake. Yeah. And I'm excited for it. It's hard to pause on the solutioning, but I'm really excited for when we can deliver our solutions and recommendations. It's going to be good stuff. And the team has been working very, very hard. Can I say something about the team, Ryan?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can I just say a couple words about each of the team members? Because we've got a variety of different folks on the team, and I just want to say their name and then a couple words of how they contribute to the team.
Yeah, because some of them you haven't seen yet, well, maybe on the side, but you haven't seen them in like their own specific videos.
Right.
TBD on that, because I'm sure we'll be getting to those every single month, but yeah.
Okay, so I just want to, I'll say the name and then a couple words, because I can only choose two, otherwise we can't talk all day here. So Ryan, I'm going to start with you. Ryan, I'm going to say empathetic. He's a very empathetic guy, which is amazing. Very, very patient-driven. Always comes with the patient lens and focus. And he's always really looking out for the team so that we are presenting ourselves in the best light, which I think is, and you're always thinking about sharing what we're doing. Obviously, this is a part of that. Yeah. So that's one thing.
Thank you.
Vidya, passion. And she is really good at connecting the dots. That's how I would describe Vidya. Passion and connecting the dots. Chris, questions in the best way possible. And he's extremely inquisitive, and I would also say devil's advocate. He's very good at playing that role, which is key to a team, key to this team. Gina is, I would say, laser focused, driven. She is focused on what we're doing in such a passionate way. If we get off topic and move kind of down a rabbit hole, she's like, that's not what we're doing, and she brings us back, so that's amazing. Pradeep, I would call him kind of our silent warrior. Not because he's just silent, because he's not, but if somebody has a question, before you know it, he's got the answer.
Yep.
Which is just without anybody asking, or he just takes the initiative. I wonder about this, and then Pradeep sends it to us in our WebEx team chat.
Yeah, and he's my coffee buddy too.
He's amazing.
Yeah, he is.
And Dennis, I would say, Dennis is smart, very smart, extremely supportive of our team. He just feels like he's part of our family. Smart, did I say smart already?
You did a couple times.
Okay, smart.
Yeah.
Okay, he's very smart. And he's really serving as our subject matter expert in a lot of our sort of organizational questions, and so he's been really pivotal in kind of our go-to guy. So, and did I say smart?
No.
Okay.
Did you say what he does?
Dr. Comfer?
Yeah. Like what his title is?
He is the Chief Medical Officer of our organization for 22 years, maybe close to 23. So his experience with all things Be the Match, NMDP, National Merit Donor Program, he just has a wealth of knowledge that brings such a great perspective to some of the things that we're exploring. And if anybody has a question about something, he also looks into his files, and within like 5 minutes he's got an article or a journal or an email, which is amazing too. I asked him the other day.
Pradeep of the future.
He's like the future Pradeep or something. I did ask him the other day if he had a photographic memory, because he comes up with things. Oh, I remember back in '95 and in late November, and then he just comes up with an article or something. So,
on behalf of all of us, I think that we would all agree that just being in the Innovation Lab alone shows the type of company culture that exists at Be the Match. But going all the way up to again, Dr. Mills, Randy Mills, our CEO, I don't know if he'll see this video, and this is not at all a means to plug our CEO, but I do want to say that, you know, when you have a leader in an organization that not only, you know, comes up with this idea and spearheads this and gets us going with this, but then comes in to check in and shares examples that are totally outside of what we're doing, but encourages us to think differently about what can be a traditional approach to solutioning.
Yeah.
You know, yesterday he was talking about McDonald's and how McDonald's started up, and he's talking about airplanes, and he's talking about all those different examples. Some of them relate to his life, some of them outside of his life, but it just makes us pause and think about, you know, there's traditional routes, but there's also, and sometimes those are valid, but sometimes there's other ways of going about things. And sometimes that's important to do too, because a fresh approach, a fresh perspective can be part of what it takes to make something meaningful happen.
Yes, and as the team that's made up of individuals that do not have expertise in umbilical cord blood, it's hard from a project perspective. Typically you have a project with your subject matter experts, and everyone's got a specific role. That's a different dynamic here. So we are working through it on a daily basis. And one thing I know for sure, without a shadow of a doubt, is that the Innovation Lab, the fact that it exists in the organization and it was created, is crucial and important, and it needs to continue. And I know that that's the plan, but you never know. But I know that without a shadow of a doubt that this Innovation Lab is the right thing to do. The energy that is going into addressing the Improved Cord Blood Experience project is instrumental to moving the needle on it and getting fresh eyes on it. The folks on this team, getting those fresh eyes and those new perspectives has been wonderful, and I think it's the right formula. It's terrific. Yeah.
Well, good. For those watching, I know this is a little bit of a longer format video than we've done in the past. However, as you can now tell, there's a lot that we needed to talk about, that we've been sort of holding some of this back intentionally from you, the audience out there. But as the months progress, we're going to be able to continue to share more and more and more. And I think this is more of like a vlog format, as
Sure.
as the young folk may say.
Those young folk, certainly not me. I will say, can I say one thing, Ryan?
Yes, hoping you can say one.
I would like to just say that the organization and the community that we have connected with has been extremely supportive.
Yeah.
Internal Be the Match team members and staff have been amazing, supporting us and the work that we're doing, and external partners in our network. The support that we've been given and the respect has been really, really special. And the fact that people are trusting us in this space and trusting us to dig in and provide recommendations, it's really wonderful. It feels really terrific to be entrusted with that. And so I just want to thank everybody who's participated and supported us in one way or another, because we couldn't be doing any of the things that we're doing without the support of the community, internal and external, to Be the Match. So it's key, and it's a big part of the success of this project and the lab in general.
Well, and I would say a big part of that success is thanks to you. So
Thank you.
I know you're going to say, oh, it's the team. But no, seriously, you know, again, speaking on behalf of the team, you are our rock. You bring such an amazing level of experience, but also passion, care, energy, fun. I mean, I can't imagine this team without you. So thank you for all that you do.
I really appreciate that. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, let's sign it off with a hand hug. Nope.
Oh, that's right.
Good thing I can edit.
This is what the cool kids are doing.
I don't think so. Thank you.